runs on day two or the first sessions ended with 101 runs. That's great. But India have also lost 3 wickets. KL Rahul, Washington Sundar, Rishabh Pant just at the stroke of lunch. But there is a major injury concern over Shubman Gill because he apparently was clutching his neck after playing that sweep shot. But let us have no illusions of this fact that this match will not be a 5-day test. You are seeing puffs of dust, you are seeing the ball leap up so frequently. You are seeing a 3-day test, or if it's by a miracle, a 4-day test. Look at the way how the balls have been. Look at the bounce. Look at the extra puff of dust that's coming up. What was the curator thinking? But yeah, advantage with India because they only trail by 21 and 6 wickets in hand. If they get a lead of over 100, then I think it's game over for South Africa.
Yeah, I think at this point in time, we're not looking at a major test and it's all going to be about fine margins. This is not going to be the run fest some of us were expecting when you're saying that, if we had a sporting pitch, yeah, definitely you were getting a minimum of 4 days, potentially even 1 or 2 sessions on day 5. This, not so much, not a chance. This pitch is playing up in ways that I don't think any of us were expecting. And I remember before the test match, we were discussing, that Shubman Gill and Gautam Gambhir were having a very animated chat with Sachin Mukherjee, the pitch curator, and they seemed very confused. With the benefit of hindsight, it's easy to understand why they were feeling confused. I, for the life of me, cannot figure out what this pitch is going to do. The bounce is it's two-faced. And more importantly, it's already, as you said, puffs of dust are coming up. And the variable bounce, let's say, is catching out a lot of people. Just for example, Washington Sundar's dismissal, one that bounced really high, took the edge, and then Markram taking a good catch in the slip cordon. Rishabh Pant, another one, getting an absolute snotter from Corbin Bosch. Yeah. He was well directed, the bouncer, and it suddenly climbed on him because it looked like he was in control of his pull shot, but nope, that sudden this thing takes the edge and that's
glove.
How she
takes
wrote.
The glove and then
and
it pops up. Exactly. So this pitch is becoming a nightmare to bat on. Let's make no mistake about it. As the sessions progress, the worrying part is this was the best session to bat on. Worrying part because you scored 101 runs in 25 overs. So it's gone at a rate of 4. That's because Pant was batting very aggressively. 2 sixes, 2 fours.
He was really the only one batting aggressively. I know Gill's strike rate is 133, but he also only played 3 balls before retiring, which included a boundary. Pant was the only one who was looking to consistently up the ante. Jaddu to an extent. Jurel started with a 4. But otherwise, if you look at the top order, your top 3, the strike rates read 44, 32 and 35. That's hardly what you'd call big strike rates in terms of what you're expecting, especially considering you've got someone like a Jaiswal up top, someone who is never hesitant to take on bowlers and go after the new ball in particular. He always likes to start the innings in an aggressive manner. He wasn't taking any chances. KL batted nearly 120 balls to just get about not even 40 runs. So that tells you everything you need to know about what he was seeing. The thing, same with Washi, 29 runs, 82 balls. This was actually supposed to be the best session for it to bat him because, of course, they would have gotten the advantage of putting the light roller on, maybe easing it out. But look at how it was deteriorating towards the second innings, towards the end of the first session, and I don't think it's getting any easier. Look at some of those balls. Yeesh.
I mean, the amount of turn that they measured was 7.2 degrees.
Oh, that's a lot of turn. That takes me back to, dare I say, the kind of pitch which we saw during the Border Gavaskar
indoor test
in India. Not just indoor. It was indoor. Yes, the
8.1.
Yeah, where Matthew Kuhneman was getting 8 degrees of spin on day 1. This isn't much better. It's the first session of day 2, and you're getting 7 odd degrees spin. Yeah, there is definitely, I don't see this test going beyond Sunday at best.
Yeah, because see, the problem, if you look at it, okay, let's see. South Africa, to their credit, didn't panic when Pant had that onslaught, okay? But they were also guilty of bowling. I mean, now you will realize the folly of not playing your best spinner in this deck, in Senur and Muthuswamy. Dropping your best spinner on day 1, and yes, with so many left-handers that you've got, for the first time in 93 years, you've played 6 left-handers. Harmer has really done well. But imagine if another off-spinner in Senur and Muthuswamy would have gotten it, then run scoring would have been very, very difficult for India. And see, to KL's credit and to Washington Sundar's credit, needed some very good balls to get them out.
Yeah, they were putting up a solid defense, very stubborn, I dare say, and they needed absolute cockers to get rid of them. So I'm not going to be holding anyone culpable or saying that, could have done better. I don't think they could have done much better.
They couldn't have done
Even for that matter, Jaiswal, the ball which Jansen bowled to get him.
Although he did look very scratchy, Yashasvi
Of course,
Jaiswal.
which is very unlike him, and that's one thing he needs to address. Sometimes he's used to getting those quick starts, right? But if he doesn't get the quick start, then he needs to kind of knuckle down. He did manage to do it, but I think, yes, you're right. He was potentially getting a little bit jittery.
So, but the problem with Rahul and Washington's approach is that you are also vulnerable to that one ball which will be very good and will take the edge, or you will get bowled or LBW.
Basically, that old stereotype, let's say, of that one ball having your name on it.
Yeah,
and that's the
thing.
problem with this, because again, then you look at it and say they've played out over 200 balls to add not even 60 runs.
Yeah.
Actually, if you would have
in 201, you have added a total of 68 runs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. So, if you look at it, it is not looking pretty good for either side. Yes, India might win the match. But have you gone back to that same? There is this one thing when pilots, when they fly a plane, their muscle memory says, okay, if I'm not trained that well, I go back to my old training. Okay, I'll just pull the stick back in case I want to go higher and higher to avoid the turbulence in that sense.
It's back to basics, kind of a bare minimum, threadbare approach.
Exactly. Right? And I don't know how this pitch will benefit batters. Honestly, I'm telling you, because so far when you look at it, 39 by KL Rahul is the highest from the Indian cricket team. And if you look at, can we just go up, Pawan, for the South Africa scorecard? How much did South Africa make? The highest score was 31 by Ryan Rickleton. So KL Rahul, by Markram, 31. So Rahul has got the highest score in the match so far by an Indian, by any player from both sides. So how do you judge that? And Shubman Gill, when you look at it, I hope he comes back, because in his absence, I think Pant will be the captain, because he's the vice captain. Yeah.
Most likely it will be Pant only. Now it remains to be seen when it is that Gill comes back to bat, if he comes back to bat. And it's too early to comment, but assuming this is nothing too serious, it does also show you the tremendous workload he shouldered recently.
Yeah.
He played all 5 tests in England. Sure, after that you had a break, but then played every game pretty much in the Asia Cup. Then test matches.
They're showing that particular bit. And he played that sweep, which he normally does well, but then when he got up, that twitch.
Oh, that twitch is never a good sign.
Oh, that's a very bad situation for Shubman. Yeah, look at it. He's played non-stop ever since
He's not taking a break. He's really not taking a break. Because if you, as I said, you go back since, you've had IPL. Yeah, you had that brief, the 2 breaks that he has was during the WTC cycle. And then after the England series. But in England, he played all 5 games.
Yeah.
Batted a lot. He played every game in the Asia Cup too. After that, 2 tests at home. After that, the white ball leg in Australia. And now back here as well. It's going to catch up to you. The calendar is so relentless. You can't not be managing workload.
Yeah, workload for batters. I can understand for bowlers. But then Bumrah gave a very good comment. He said, let's see, those questions are not my questions to answer when it comes to fitness. Now I will take care of my body and I'll ensure that whenever I'm available, I will play for India. I think he's allayed those fears after years and years of workload. But then see, even he's also not played all. He didn't play the ODIs. He didn't play 2 out of the 5 tests against England. He didn't play, I think, the first half of IPL. He missed 7 games, if I'm not mistaken. Because he was recovering from that injury that he suffered in Australia. Then, if you look at it, he's had an okayish workload. He's managed his workload pretty well then. But Gill, I hope he's better at this point. He should be fine to come out to bat. Because the neck strain, when was the last time a batter retired hurt because of a neck strain? I think it was Nitish Kumar Reddy who suffered that neck spasm, remember? That's why he didn't play the 3 matches against Australia, the T20Is. But here, let's come back to this particular thing. Let's focus on the pitch. The question remains, this is the major topic that we'll be doing on for the lunch break at this point. If India take a lead of 100, with the pitch doing how it is, question number 1, is it game over for South Africa? Question number 2, when we analyze this test match, is this pitch going to benefit anybody?
I don't think the pitch benefits anybody, to answer question number 2, but let's look at question number 1. I think a 100-run lead all but puts the game in India's favour, because batting has not been easy at all. And in the second innings, assuming there's a 100-run lead, you would be needing look, you first overcome that 100-run lead, then set something of a total. Are you going to be backing them to get about 200 bare minimum runs on the board? No. In fact, you'd not feel safe for the 100-run target. You'd want at least 150, given how weird the pitch has been. You still want that little bit of a buffer, because the advantage they have is at this time. It's only day 2. But the disadvantage, as we pointed out, is that you always have that one ball which kind of has your name on it, and that's potentially what kind of a pitch you're seeing. Also, what is it with India-South Africa series having such pitches? I remember even the last time when India had gone to South Africa, I think it was Cape Town. Yeah, where
1.5 day test.
1.5 day test where I remember Siraj ran riot.
6 wickets. Yeah.
That was also a pitch where it didn't matter how you batted, because come what may, you had one ball that was definitely going to get your. Go back a few years prior in the T20 World Cup 2022, it was these two teams that played a match in Perth. I remember it was a spicy wicket, very spicy wicket. That was another one which was, I didn't understand. I think this is a fixture that seems to attract such pitches, whether or not they want it. But to answer your question, yeah, I think a 100-run lead for India pretty much puts the match in their favour, barring something spectacular from the away team, which quite frankly I don't see happening.
So when you look at it, answering the first part, whether a 100-run lead will put India in firm control, yes, it will. I mean, South Africa on a very good batting deck on day 1, it was far better. Best batting conditions, they only managed 159. And the bonus that India got is Bumrah got the wickets. Here, your 3-4 spinners are going to wreak havoc. In Aksar, Jaddu, I mean, if you look at it, Washington Sundar will come into the picture, Kuldeep will come into the picture on a deteriorating wicket. And look at the bounce. Jadeja on this wicket, it is tailor-made for Jadeja.
Okay, keep bowling it quick into the rough and just
get that bounce and all that thing. So yeah, but I now have serious concerns about the nature of the wicket that has been prepared here. I mean, did the Indian team management want this wicket? Were they spooked by what happened in Delhi? Because in Delhi, when you look at it, it was a flat deck, but it was slow turn. And it wore the bowlers on. I mean, you saw Mohammad Siraj, the workhorse. He was like having that thing on his back, on his head, and on his ankle. He was getting all of that. That took a toll on the bowling, and it lasted 5 days. The last time a test lasted 5 days in India.
Also have to remember that one of the reasons that happened is because we followed on, or we enforced the follow on. Because of enforcing the follow on, your bowlers got no break.
Yes.
And I think that's also a key reason why in today's day and age, teams just don't enforce the follow on as much. You want to give your bowlers that break time. It's not like in the good old days where you only played test cricket. So, when you were playing a series, then you could just go for it. Now it's very different. So I think in that sense, that didn't help. To answer your question, I don't think they wanted. I think they were kind of okay with a slow turner, but I don't think this is what they wanted for sure. I don't think any team, if given a choice, is taking a pitch like this. It's
gone to the other extreme.
Yeah, it's very much a lottery kind of a pitch. You play your strokes, and truth be told, you can actually be okay playing like a T20-ish kind of a game here. Just go high risk because you're going to get dismissed anyway. This is not the kind of pitch where you can buckle down and there's plenty of runs to be found, not in the least. We've seen 2 batters buckle down. They ended up getting that one very good ball which had their name on it anyway, and thereafter it just kind of rendered it moot. So I don't think this is the kind of pitch they wanted. In fact, I think that is why they were having that very animated discussion with the pitch curator, because they're like, what is this? What is it that you've served up to us?
And again, why did you go away from the England series template when you had prepared good pitches here? You prepared a good pitch in Rajkot, you prepared a good pitch in Vizag, you prepared a good pitch in Ranchi, you prepared a good pitch in Dharamshala.
The only ranked earner was the match you lost, which was
Hyderabad. But okay, Hyderabad also, there were runs on the offering. I mean, Ollie Pope played one of the most outstanding innings that I can ever think of on these shores from an overseas batter. Steve Smith comes to mind, Ollie Pope, 196. It was a sublime innings in that sense. But the problem is, after that, why did you not stick with the template? Why did you prepare rank turners even in the New Zealand series and you lost that particular series?
The pressure of results does that to you, because I remember one of the reasons, and this is something that Rahul Dravid had said when he was the head coach. He said that, we have to kind of prepare result incentive wickets, because in today's day and age with the WTC, the result is the only thing that matters. We can't look to play for draws. So I do understand it, but I still don't agree with it for one very simple reason. As you rightly pointed out, even playing on sporting wickets, you were actually getting good results. In fact, you got your best test series win at home having played on sporting wickets. The only pitch which caused some trouble was the Hyderabad pitch, and even there, as you point out, there were runs on offer. Both teams ended up getting good runs and good totals on the board. So that formula seemed to be working just fine for you. It's just a sheer act of desperation that you decided to kind of deviate away from that, which I think is the wrong approach, the wrong idea. Because you always should look to back your strengths, and right now there are two major strengths your batting has. One is that in sporting or even dare I say batter friendly conditions, they are very, very good. They're good at maximizing runs. The other is that you have skillful spinners. Even your all-rounders are skillful spinners. They're not just there because they'll chuck it into the rough and then let the pitch do the rest. They're perfectly capable. If not, if a Jadeja, for instance, isn't available, you'd have no problem slotting in a Sundar or an Akshar overseas, because they are skilled enough. So I don't understand why it is they have actually gone back to this template of, let's get spinning tracks. I think you should stick to what worked best for you, which was sporting Indian subcontinental tracks, where you could bat well for 3 days or 2.5 days, and then thereafter you let the spinners do the talking. I think those were the kind of best pitches you got, because they also brought your pacers into play. Because
exactly.
the pitch deteriorated naturally. You actually had this thing where in the early parts of the test match, your seamers could find some joy, and then in the second half, they could potentially angle and get reverse swing. So that was something that really worked well for you. And quite frankly, Siddharth, you take your floors all yours. I have made my point. I think it's very silly that they've deviated from that template. Doesn't need.
And I don't agree with this thing about WTC has given us this thing though we have to prepare rank turners in that sense. I mean, it is because of your inclination to go for rank turners that you failed to make the WTC final the last time around.
Exactly.
You prepare this kind of a wicket. Okay, tell me which batter will be high on confidence heading into Barsapara, which, by the way, could also be a rank turner. There was a diktat that was given at the start of the year. The start of the year was, you'll prepare sporting decks for the West Indies series, but you'll prepare rank turners against the WTC champion South Africa. Why? Why couldn't the brief have come that prepare sporting decks for all the matches in India? You're playing only 4 tests in 2026 in India. Why can't you? Why does it look so difficult for you to prepare sporting wickets? Unless you're not confident, there is a thing that you're hiding, that, I'm not confident about my skills at all. So that is the thing we are looking at. So yes, right now all the attention more than this match is on the IPL trade.
I have to really question the timing of announcing the retention. Surely, if you really wanted to, why did it have to be in the middle or just before the start of or at the stroke of the start of the test matches of the second day? Why did you need to announce it then? Obviously, see, even the broadcasters now are talking about it, and many people in our comments too, and we'll address it obviously because right now all that they've really announced is not the trades or not the retentions, but just the trades. So we know, and there were a couple of surprises in there as well. I don't think any of us saw Nitish Rana and Donovan Ferreira getting traded from RR and DC.
I mean, Ferreira comes back to where it all started for him. RR. He barely played. Nitish comes back home.
And I don't think he's ever played for a Delhi team, by the way.
Never.
He hasn't. He started out, he got his big break with Mumbai.
KKR.
Then largely played for KKR after that. The only time he got put into the auction pool proper was RR picked him up. So I think that's it. He's not really played for any other franchise.
RR,
this time he's played for his home franchise.
Franchisee. At that time, when I did the live, I now realize, Jadeja was 18 crores, Sanju was 18 crores, okay? But Jadeja has gone at a lower price of 14 crores.
And that's what I'm telling you is very surprising. What it tells me is that if he agreed to that lower price, I think he wanted captaincy really badly.
Maybe.
He's not forgotten that, or he wants to end his IPL captaincy tenure in a better way than it ended in 2022.
It did. He wants captaincy in more ways than one, because as you rightly said, he's going back to the franchisee from where it all began for him. 2008, he was part of the RR winning side, rockstar Ravindra Jadeja. So it's going to be interesting. Rajasthan have potentially 3 contenders. Sanju's gone now, so you got Jaddu, you got Riyan Parag, you got a Yashasvi Jaiswal. Jaiswal's harboring captaincy ambitions. So I really don't know what is Rajasthan Royals thinking. They got 2 players for the price of 1 when you look at it.
And actually, dare I say, and I'll do a detailed video on this once this particular our live stream is done. I do have a feeling that RR did end up getting the slightly better end of the deal. I'll tell you why. Because with this one trade, they've done two things. One is they've gotten rid of a player who was keen to leave. Sanju had, according to multiple reports, made it very clear that he didn't want to be a part of the franchise anymore, so trade. The other thing which they've done, and not a lot of people seem to be talking about this, they've addressed their all-rounder weakness. For 4 seasons now, since 2022, I've been having one consistent complaint with RR is that they are too damn reliant on specialists. In white ball cricket, particularly T20 cricket, you can rely on bits and pieces players to bolster both your batting and bowling. Doubly true now in the era of, let's say, impact player and all that, because you can add the extra batter, but a lot of teams still have pure all-rounders. They've never had those pure all-rounders in their side. Now though, with this one trade, they've gotten into all-rounders who should walk into the 11. And the best part is they don't really need to even replace their wicket keeper because they have a ready-made option in Dhruv Jurel.
Exactly.
So they've actually done really well. Like, I know, RR's management gets a lot of flack, deservedly so, for some of the more brain-numbing moves that they'll pull off. This one's been an absolute success for them. They've gotten rid of a one-way player. They have gotten 2 players in who will bolster their all-round stocks and who should, on paper, be walking into their 11. Yeah. And they'll be releasing few players that potentially have no use for. I think Tikshana's name has come up a lot. So yeah. I think they've done a good job.
See, CSK will also release a couple of players. I think Patirana is going. I don't think Conway is going. Conway is definitely going.
I've read that both Conway and Rachin are on the chopping block, which means that they could be in for a new opener.
Oh man. See, Sanju's your opener now. Sanju's your opener. You need a backup. You need his partner. I think Rachin's not that much on the chopping block. It'll be Conway.
Conway definitely, I think, seems on the chopping block because, again, with Sanju now in, your need for Conway goes in 2 ways: opening batter and backup wicketkeeper.
Now, there is one more player who, because see, Punjab are releasing 3. It's the Australian trio: Hardy, Maxwell, Mitch Owen.
And Mitch Owen, correct me if I'm wrong, was brought in as a replacement for Maxwell last year. He wasn't part of the team originally.
He wasn't part of the team. So that is the thing. I think they will release them and they won't be traded. So Mitch Owen will go into the auction, but I think Maxwell could be traded.
But no, they've confirmed the trade, Siddharth. Who's going to be traded?
I think there will be some more when you look at it. So
I think now with all the confirmations out, I doubt there'll be more trades. I see your point because there was a lot of chatter on social media that Maxwell could be headed to potentially CSK.
No, but that's not.
I don't think that's
that. I think they'll snap him up in the auction.
Could be.
If that happens. So that is the thing. Yeah, but the trades are all done. So there were a total of 7 trades, if I'm not mistaken. Let me confirm. Sanju to CSK, Jaddu and Karan to RR, Shami to LSG, Markande to MI, Arjun Tendulkar to LSG, then you got Nitish Rana to DC, Donald Ferreira to RR, 8, total and 8.
Shardul to MI.
Shardul to MI, and I think even someone else was also traded.
Rutherford,
GT to MI, right. So MI are also doing kind of pretty okay. Shardul, again, back home.
And he's never played for his own franchise either.
He hasn't played, yeah.
He's played for what? CSK, he has played for
KKR,
KKR,
LSG.
And LSG, but never MI.
Never MI. So yeah.
I think, they'll probably potentially, I think you could see Deepak Chahar going to the auction pool then.
Yeah, Deepak Chahar, I anyway assumed they would go because you got a Bolt and a Bumrah. Why does he fit in that sense?
And now Shardul also. The new
exactly.
Ball. Remember last year for LSG, he was by and large bowling a lot with the new ball. So I think that's the role they're envisioning for him.
So that's what Sridhar Savaikar said. I would love to know if Jadeja was interested to leave CSK or the team management who wanted Sanju and were happy to let Jaddu go. If it's latter, then not fair on RJ who has been important in CSK success.
Yeah, I understand that, but you also have to look at it from another perspective, from a little colder perspective, and say that teams will always plan for the future. And this is a plan for the future because Sanju could potentially give you at least 7 to 8 years. Jaddu at best was giving you 2 or 3. And Sanju is also a future captaincy option in case they feel that, Ritu is not someone who is durable enough to finish the season.
Correct.
I think that's the multiple reasons. And nothing wrong with it. See, even for Ravindra Jadeja, he leaves a legend. Having won
3 IPL titles.
And playing a key role in many of them, all of them, I would argue. And then, he gets to go to another franchise, potentially have another whack at captaincy.
He's actually won 4 IPL titles.
He's won 4 IPLs because he's won 1 with RR.
3 with CSK, 18, 21 and 23.
Yes.
Although did he Yeah, I think he played 21 also. I thought he was injured, but no.
No, he played,
Yeah. Then you were saying, on this kind of pitches, Brevis would have been handy.
Very interesting.
He does play spin well.
Does play spin well, and he's someone who can also, let's say, go give it a whirl. Because again, he's an aggressive batter by default, and I don't think it might have been the worst idea in the world. But again, I think fitting him in would have been a bit of an issue. Because it would be disturbing your very settled top order, potentially.
Sarat Chandra saying this partnership between Jurel and Jadeja should, are our teammates now.
Yeah.
Needs to be there until we get a lead of 50.
And freaking awesome, echoing your point, saying they're missing Muthuswamy. Wholeheartedly agree. I think they could have really done with...
he's a left armer, but then he could have gotten more bounce also. Na? He could have used the variations far better. I mean, sorry. I had initially said Muthuswamy is an off-spinner. No, he's a left-arm orthodox.
Yeah.
But again, why on earth... He could have had a backup to Keshav Mahara, and he was in good form, good confidence.
Hey, he'd done well in Pakistan.
10 wickets and he scored a 50 in that. So that is the thing. Ashish Dhar is saying, what is the kind of soil used in Sena nations for pitches like black soil and red soil is used in India? That's a very good question, yaar. I don't know what is the kind of wickets that Australia, although I know that there is a special clay that comes in Perth wherein you use those wickets. Adelaide is a drop-in. Melbourne is a drop-in. Then I think Sydney is not a drop-in.
No, Sydney is not a drop-in.
So although you do play matches, other sports there also, you play the AFL, you play rugby, you play there also in Sydney. So that's why. That's a good question. I don't know what kind of soil is used in Sena Nation. South Africa has a different kind of soil. England has a different kind of soil.
Yeah, good question. And I think we can do some research on. King D says that no wonder no one wants to watch Test cricket in India. ICC should intervene. I mean, see, even with more sporting pitches, I've not seen bigger crowds turn up. And I think the amount of people that's there is fairly respectable, considering we've seen...
Kolkata has gotten a good, 35,000 visited yesterday.
Yeah, and considering we remember seeing the West Indies series where you had not even 1,000 in a 1 lakh seater stadium.
I know, that's my problem. Why you play them? Why did you play them there?
What is the need?
1 lakh stadium you should use for marquee kind of events like a World Cup final.
IPL final.
Or an IPL final.
Yeah,
why on earth do you want to play in a... I just don't understand at this point in time.
Anyway, scroll down. We can take a few more comments.
Last couple of comments we'll take. Team should play 3-match series in India. You won't get 5 days in any match.
I agree. I wholly agree.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, see, the quality and the kind of things that you see in India when it comes to test match broadcasting also doesn't make for good viewing anyways. The graphics, the way how it is not going to be in that way.
Priyanshu points out something interesting, saying that South Africa have committed 2 major blunders. Not playing Muthuswamy and bringing Harmer very late to bowling when they already had 75 runs on the board. I think India will win this match, but will go really close. Even chasing 120 could be tough. I wholeheartedly agree with you.
See, the highest 4th innings total that has ever been chased in Kolkata is 120.
So even 120 would be, even historically speaking, would be quite the task. And this is on a pitch, by the way, which is it has more than its fair share of deep.
Look, you are not going to see it go into the 5th day, that's for sure. 4th day by a miracle if someone...
also a miracle, yeah.
Exactly, but looking at the puff of dust and looking at all of this, I am sorry, it's a nightmare. In an ideal world, if I was in the ICC, I would rate this wicket unsatisfactory.
Yeah.
Sorry, I mean, if Newlands could be rated unsatisfactory, I'll rate this also unsatisfactory.
And Newlands, yes.
Indore also was unsatisfactory, although that got arm twisted in that sense. So, let's see. Anshu Mishra has a request for Shane. So, please cover the Ashes session by session from first test, Adelaide biggest test series along with BGT.
I agree. I think there are 3 major test series you look forward to more than any. There's of course BGT, there's Border Gavaskar, there is the India-England, whatever it's called, depending on who's hosting it. And there is of course Ashes.
For me, there is only 2, BGT and Ashes.
I like India-England for the simple reason that there are 2 of the bigger nations. You'll always see good competitive cricket. Sure, it doesn't quite have the sting that you'd see in either a BGT or Ashes.
Because again, there is no rivalry. India have dominated England for 10 years.
At home, yes.
Even 2-2. Both series has been 2-2.
True.
So that is why there has been no rivalry in that sense.
I'm saying purely from not just the rivalry sense, I'm talking purely from a cricketing perspective. At least it makes for engaging cricket.
Yeah.
Unlike
Ashes
is next level. Nothing beats Ashes.
You are waking up at 5 in the morning, 5:30 a.m. in the morning to see those lovely stadiums, lovely pitches, lovely graphics. Please, if I had to wake up at 5 a.m. to watch an India game in India, if the conditions were like that, sorry, I would have to go into depression. Honestly,
Full on
it is terrible. I mean, for India being the superpower in cricket,
Yeah, I think you can do better, rather than just paying lip service to the game. I think you can do better towards the game by putting up better pitches.
Yeah.
If you want to make Test cricket enthralling, exciting, and attract viewers, then it needs to be a product worth watching.
Of
As
course.
things stand, it's not a product worth watching. I'm a cricket enthusiast, and I find it a chore to sit through it sometimes.
it is. So we will be calling it an end. We will call. I don't know. Should we say we'll join you for the innings break, or should we join you for the tea break?
Either which way, very soon we'll be joining you guys back again. So
Yep.
stay
So let's see. Can India take a big lead? Will South Africa fight back? It all depends on the second session that's going to start now. So from me and Shane, it is bye bye. See you soon. Take care, and we'll be back with more videos on Sports Today.